Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Now that we've reached the middle of the year, it's time to see what the best films have been so far this year. There are plenty of films still to come, including my most anticipated film of 2022, Avatar: The Way of Water. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Let's start with some honorable mentions. The first is X, the new horror slasher from director T. West, and honestly one of the most terrifying films I have seen in a while. I am not a fan of creepy grandmas, so naturally I was not going to do well with the horror in this because this adds up being Creepy Grandma the movie. It captures the aesthetic of the 80s slashers really well, and Mia Goth gives an excellent performance as both the protagonist and the creepy grandma.
Phyllis is a valued member of that family, like a grandmother.
The next honorable mention is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which I have a review for if you'd like to check out the link somewhere above me. As I said, Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage, sign me up. The concept works, and this becomes one of the most funniest films of 2022 so far. Pedro Pascal steals the show at points as he was pretty much as brilliant as Cage was. I'm honestly glad that a movie like this exists and is pretty fun overall. Okay. The last honorable mention is Elvis, the new Baz Luhrmann film with a career-defining performance from Austin Butler. I also have a review for that one as well, so check that out. But I honestly still think this is one of the best musical biopics out there and is Baz Luhrmann's best film, as he feels restrained a little to the point where his style isn't too distracting from the story being told. Sure, there is enough in here for you to know that this is a Baz Luhrmann film, but I think it works a lot in capturing a lot of the excitement and energy that Elvis brought when he was alive. Now, jumping into number 5 in this list, we have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I will say this right now, I very rarely have an MCU film in my top 10 by the end of the year, but I think this one could break that. I believe this is one of the best MCU films because for once Marvel let a director have a little more creative freedom than usual, and it paid off in my opinion. Are there goofy moments? 100%. I will never dispute that. But to be honest, I'd rather a film that tries to be creative and slip up a couple of times than some of the tired formulaic filmmaking that come with a lot of Marvel films. Adding horror made Wanda one of the most formidable and interesting characters in the present-day MCU, and I hope Marvel continues going down that route of being creative and experimental because they have a lot of talent behind their projects that can do those things. In at number 4, we have Hustle, the latest basketball film starring Adam Sandler. In my opinion, this might be my second favorite basketball film of all time, with Coach Carter being at number 1. Adam Sandler continues to show that he might be one of the best actors working today. He clearly had a lot of passion for this project and it shows. Juan Hernan-Gomez gives one of the better athlete performances out there. He captures so many emotions that some really well-trained actors struggle to portray on screen. I'm honestly such a sucker for these sports movies, even if they can be a little cliched at times, and it's just so nice to see another quality one. At number 3, I have Everything Everywhere All at Once, which will probably be the best A24 film to release this year. If you've seen my A24 list, I had this movie at number 10, and I think it can only go up from there with subsequent rewatches. The Daniels managed to capture this zany film with a lot of heart that balances the wackiness on screen, and it becomes one of the most impactful and unique films of the entire year. If I was in charge of the SAG Awards, I would give this film Best Ensemble straight away because pretty much everyone here gives a career high. I think right now Michelle Yeoh deserves the Academy Award for Best Lead Actress this year because she nails this role. The combination of emotion she brings to the screen with those excellent kung fu scenes were an achievement in filmmaking and acting, and I have nothing but praise for that performance. I also think Ki Hai Kwan is deserving of a supporting actor nomination because his performance will tear your heart out. I have nothing but praise for this film, and if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out because I feel like this might be one of the most accessible A24 films. At number 2, I have The Northman, the latest film from one of the best up-and-coming directors working right now, Robert Eggers. His last feature, The Lighthouse, is without a doubt a pure masterpiece, and while The Northman doesn't reach those heights, it is still the best Viking era film I have ever seen. Eggers, as always, shows that he researches these time periods so thoroughly that the film captures the authenticity of those films. It doesn't glamorize anything, and it feels more atmospheric because of it. Alexander Skarsgård's physical performance is mesmerizing. Honestly, the minute I could, I bought the 4K version of this film because I see myself rewatching this so much. This might also have a special place in my heart as well, because this film inspired me to make my first YouTube video. Because I feel like films like these never really get the attention that they deserve, and if I can build an audience that will be exposed to these types of films and grow to enjoy them, that would be incredible. However, at number 1, we have maybe the most obvious pick of all time, The Batman. As great as all these films that I mentioned earlier in this list, I just can't help but love a Batman film that does the character justice. This character is maybe my favorite in anything, and I think Robert Pattinson nailed his performance as this excellent character. Not that I really had any doubt, as he has proven to be one of the best actors around, and to see that displayed in a more public audience setting is incredible for him. I believe the first 15 minutes of this film is just masterful filmmaking. I've always wanted to see the criminal's perspective of Batman and why they think he is so terrifying, and I'm glad to see that come to fruition on the big screen. Also, Paul Dano absolutely nails the Riddler. This character has always been seen as goofy, and when the Arkham games finally made him a little more gritty, I love that. And Paul Dano takes that another step further with his performance here. I love the costume design. Batman's outfit and the Riddler's costume were excellent and added a lot to the tone of this film. The score is menacing and is everything a Batman score should be, and the makeup is masterful. I mean, look at Colin Farrell. He is unrecognizable, and I'll be shocked if this doesn't get any Oscar attention for its makeup. This sits as one of the greatest superhero films out there, and right now, this is number 1 at the midway point of 2022. Thank you for watching the video. Now it's your turn. Please tell me, what are your top 5 favorite films of the year so far? And if you can't think of 5, just what's your favorite of the year so far? Also, I'd like to know what you're excited about for the second half of 2022. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.